Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are going to be doing the monthly October love reading for the sign of Aquarius. Alright, Aquarius, beautiful. Air sign, water bearer. Associated with the Major Arcana star card. Let's see what your romance angels have to say for you this month. Of course, the video is time-stamped. You can go ahead and jump ahead if you like. Retreat. Time to disconnect from the world, Aquarius. And we have wedding. Wow. All right. Two interestingly different cards in a way, right? I mean, retreat does not necessarily mean with the person. Although we do have two people, right, turning their back on the world. So oftentimes this could indicate that it's time for both of you or you and your significant other to spend more quality time together away from prying eyes. You know, away from the eyes of others who will interfere sometimes with their energies. Let's go ahead and get right into your animal spirits for the month. Now we pull the animal spirits and for the love readings, the monthly love readings, to indicate where you and your person or your significant other are at. Within your own sort of energy, right? Where your head is at, where your emotions may be at. For the weekly readings, the animal spirits can indicate times and changes, events in your life, but here we're really concentrating on the energy that you're personally resonating with, that you're carrying or walking with this month, as well as your significant other or the other player in this dynamic. So let's pull out your two animal spirits. Ooh, the panther. Wow. Panther energy, fire energy. Interesting. And we have the swan. Oh, water. Fire and water. All right. Well, let's get right into these before we pull out your 9-card spread. The panther. The panther is a very interesting creature associated with chaos. Right? The panther is associated with chaos, and he brings with him chaos into your life. Oftentimes when everything seems to be completely off kilter, out of whack, you don't understand why things are happening the way they're happening, panther energy is at play. Right? I mean, if you think about a panther in the wild, they are very fiery and chaotic. You know, a scene with the panther involves a lot of hissing and growling and all of this, right? But the panther comes in, oftentimes what happens is once all of this dust has settled from an encounter with panther energy, it's almost as if everything is exactly where it should be, right? It's the annihilation of the unnecessary. It's purging. And sometimes when you purge, you require chaotic energy in order for the purging to happen. Right? The panther just cannot stand to see your growth stagnate. Right? So instead, it kind of jumps into your life. This is why the energy is so chaotic. It causes so much havoc in your life. But the intention is to bring you towards a more fulfilling life. Sometimes when we're and I'm going to say when we're stuck in hangman energy, sometimes the one thing that we need is panther energy to come in. It's very unexpected. Oftentimes it's extremely uncomfortable. Sometimes it can feel absolutely devastating, but it is so necessary. And it's when you're done coming out of the havoc and the chaos of the situation, you will absolutely see why this was necessary. All right, so you're feeling if you're resonating with this is what you're feeling right now this month. You're probably resonating with the desire to purge a lot of things that you've been dealing with that you know in your heart you don't need anymore in your life, Aquarius. Retreat is part of the energy here as well. It could be that all of this, you know, you are maybe feeling very chaotic, very sort of like all over the place. Things are happening right now all over the place, and your natural reaction to that is to retreat. Be brave, right? Right now, be brave. You know, be focused, be intentional, pay attention to what's going on, and just weather the storm, because you most definitely will come out of this feeling quite good. And this is certainly an energy that you're bringing in now. You could be resonating with this, or your person may be resonating with this, Aquarius. You may be dealing with somebody who right now is just all over the place, right? But hopefully you can see that what's happening is what's necessary. Now, swan energy comes in to this heavy sort of pouncing, havoc-causing fire. We have the beautiful, elegant swan. And the swan is also like another water elemental spirit that is associated with power. But this power here is very elegant. Swan power. Very effortless creativity. They're considered the card of the mystic, the sensitive mystic. The swan represents extremely heightened creative ability, right? The swan is also associated with the goddess Saraswati, the Hindu goddess, which is really the embodiment of language, artistry, and creativity, right? The swan is really ready to take you to a beautiful place, right? The energy of the swan is extremely beautiful. It's associated with writing, creating. It's associated with healing. This creative ability is to be embraced and shared, and not to be sort of taken for granted, right? Oftentimes when swan comes into you right now, either you or your person are really yearning to be able to express yourself creatively, right? You're really yearning to sort of have your inner vision materialized and manifested. I'm going to say that either you or your person, Aquarius, are a highly refined artist, someone who is very, very talented. Also, interestingly enough, swans do mate for life. So this could be indeed a wedding coming up with this person. You could indeed be getting married. But that's interesting. And if you're feeling stuck, and certainly if you or your person are feeling stuck in this ability or inability to give a voice to this really huge fountain of creativity that's welling up, the Panther may be necessary to come in and create the space for that, right? So it can be very complementary energies. Let's go ahead and get right into your spread. We're going to see a little bit clearer what all of this entails for you, Aquarius, this month. We want a nice, clear, concise reading for our lovely Aquarius. We're going to see affirmations, reaffirmations. Warning signs. Anything really to do with our lovely Aquarius in the area of love for October. I'd like to know what this Panther and Swan are all about truly. Now, we know this message is not going to resonate with all of you Aquarius out there, so just take the parts that do resonate, if they do, and just disregard the rest. Sometimes there can be, you know, the entire reading may or may not resonate, and sometimes only portions of the reading will resonate, and that's fine too. All right, Aquarius, we're ready for you. Let's pull out your 9-card spread. Knight of Cups, Strength 8, 10 of Swords. Wow, okay. All right. It's good. 3 of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. There's your creative fountain coming in. There's your desire, your strong desire to express yourself creatively. 10 of Pentacles in reverse, 3 of Swords. Knight of Wands, Page of Pentacles. Now, a lot of times I will not, I generally don't read reversals because I do clear my decks between all the readings, so oftentimes reversals won't show up. But in this reading, a reversal did show up for the Ten of Pentacles. I'm going to keep it. At the bottom of the deck, we have a Nine of Swords. So we're talking about a lot of anxiety and worry, right? A lot of anxiety and worry. Why is that? Is everything really chaotic right now for you, Aquarius? Are you feeling like you need to retreat? Indeed. Let's get right into it. Right away, we see at the center of the reading the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands talks about inspiration coming in, creative inspiration. It is the great phallic symbol, right? But in this way, it is also the great symbol of creativity, right? The essence of creativity, right? I mean, our creative, movement and energy and momentum come from the second chakra, which is located in the base of the pelvic bowl, right? This is associated with our sexual drives and our kundalini energy. All of that is part of what makes us want to be creative, what makes us want to procreate, and what makes us want to give voice to the desires and needs that we have inside of us. This is all very similar energy. So, of course, this swan could very much be you, Aquarius. You're resonating. I'm going to say you may be resonating with a little bit of both. And you having swan in energy inside of you in the sense that you have this rise of creativity coming up inside. But right now there's so much havoc and turmoil going on around you that you're really feeling like you want to retreat. Let's get right into it. Knight of Cups, Strength, and Ten of Swords. So interestingly enough, you have somebody offering you a cup of love, right? This cup of love is coming from a person who's you're feeling, let's put it to you this way. Knight of Cups is not the most committed cup and most committed knight in the deck, is he? Right? He often prances in and prances out just as quickly. And you're finding yourself having to really be very strong at this period right now. I think you're not ready for it. I think you're not ready for a cup of love because of everything else that you're kind of going through, right? Although there is this person who's making their feelings known to you. I'm going to say this is happening in the beginning of the month, Aquarius. This is going to be for those of you, Aquarius, who are probably single, right? That this Knight of Cups is coming in. Or even if you are with somebody, this is going to be a new personality coming into your life. But he kind of comes in and you very quickly put him on hold. Right now, you're really dealing with coming to the end of a very difficult period. All right, Aquarius, this Ten of Swords talks about the ending of a long period of strife, of taking a lot of wounds and cuts to your ego, to who you are, to your self-esteem. But you're at the end of that now. You're going to come out of it stronger, wiser, bigger, better, more expansive than before. The ego that comes out of the Ten of Swords completion is one that has grown. It's not a bigger ego. In fact, it's a smaller ego. Right? As our spiritual awareness increases, our ego decreases. And so, this character becomes smaller and smaller and smaller each time that it's killed. And we naturally, as a result, come closer and closer to something much bigger, which is our soul energy. The ego is, in fact, a very, very small blink of the soul energy anyway. All of this is something that you're experiencing right now, but Ten of Swords is still a very difficult thing. I'm going to say it'll be an example. For instance, you may have been for the last several years dealing with a lot of self-esteem issues, and you may have had a lot of events that have happened in your life that have not helped that. You may have lost positions or lost a job, or you may have lost out to somebody else in a competition or in a power struggle, right? You may have lost out in terms of a love connection. Someone you were in love with decided they weren't in love with you. Certain things like that, right? These are all examples of swords that can stab our ego, that can wound us. But what happens is almost always each time we get one of those wounds, that particular scenario, we learn something from it. And after a while, we begin to learn that the only reason these moments have hurt us is because of our ego, our self-image. If we are but to let go of that, these events can't hurt us anymore. We can begin to make better decisions so we don't have to go through these type of events. And all of this is something that you're learning, but yes, it's still very difficult, right? Still causing you a lot of sleepless nights. nights and anxiety. You may know that you're coming to this and to the end of this period, of course, but you have a 9 of Swords, right? Before that 10 of Swords. So you're still very fearful of what the future may hold. Still having a lot of anxiety of what the future may hold. The good thing about the 9 of Swords is that it is only anxiety. It really does not represent in any way what's really happening in your life. It's not some kind of sign that things are going to go bad. It is really simply yourself, your own kind of worries making you fearful and miserable. So you come through this period and you begin to kind of step up your interesting. So this is why this Knight of Cups is coming in. All right. You begin to step up your work. 3 of Pentacles, which is really what you desire, right? This is part of... This 3 of Pentacles can very much be part of what you want for your life. Some of you may be indeed... you may be working in a part of your life that is your passion, right? If you're an artist, you may indeed be beginning to sort of get commissions and things of that nature, right? I almost feel, though, that for some of you, you have been working along, but this burst of inspiration that comes in very much on the heels of this 10 of Swords. This release from this really difficult period and this kind of expansion of yourself brings with it a little bit of self-confidence indeed, right? It does bring with it a little bit of, hey, I made it through this. I can make it through anything. And this kind of confidence does begin to show in your work. But yet the Ace of Wands still comes in, right? Now, what happens, though, for some of you, Aquarius, is you have this 10 of Pentacles in reverse, right? And what's interesting, it's almost as if you thought that this increase in work, right, that this, it could be for some of you, you may have gotten just a little raise, or you're now part of a particular project that's, you know, upping your level in your career, right? You're getting this creative energy coming in. And then what happens is that your relationship, and this is why I set up here, even if you are involved with somebody, this Knight of Cups is coming in. For those of you who are involved and you're resonating with this, it's like this energy comes in here, but it hits a stone wall with your relationship. All right, hopefully my camera's fixed. It wasn't really focusing. There we go. So what I was talking about is it hitting a stone wall in the sense that everything you thought that you needed to bring to this situation, right? This is oftentimes, and I'm going to say... It's almost as if this is one of these type of scenarios that the person that you're with, and for these Aquariuses who are resonating with this energy, it's almost as if you have been in a relationship. This new person comes in the beginning of the month to sort of wave and say, hey, you know, I'm interested. But for some of you, this relationship you're currently in, it's almost as if you've been dealing with somebody that up until now has probably been telling you, hey, look, you know, they may have been giving you this impression that if you just got, you know, your self-esteem together, you've got your things together, if you kind of pick yourself up out of this kind of situation here, which was probably weighing very heavy on you. But now that you're coming out of it, right, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm doing that. I'm bettering myself. I'm getting stronger. I'm finally laying these kind of, all of this negative energy of the past behind. You know, you're making this quantum leap in a way in yourself, in your growth, and you're starting to have this self-confidence in your work and this creative flow starting to come in again. And you're probably thinking, for some of you may be thinking, oh, wow, this is exactly what my relationship has been needing. And so you've been thinking you're going to achieve this 10 of Pentacles with this person. But indeed, what happens is you get hit with a stone wall and you realize, oh, my God, you know, all this time I've been dealing with somebody. It really didn't matter how, you know, whether or not, in fact, they probably would have been happy for you to remain in this kind of like very depressed state, this 9 of Swords state. But now that you're coming out of it, you're realizing that there's not really much you were ever going to be able to do to make this person happy or to make it turn around and be the 10 of Pentacles. There's an awareness that comes here, right? You start to realize that perhaps for some of you start to realize now that you are coming more into your own, you're realizing that you've been dealing with somebody who's not been quite honest with you. They haven't really been honest about what they're truly feeling for you. They may have been lying to you or manipulating you. And as long as you were in this kind of Ten of Swords space, everything was kind of good in a way. They could continue to make you feel like everything is your fault in the relationship, blah, blah, blah. But now that you realize that, in fact, even if you do all of the things that they supposedly said you should do by way of sort of fixing yourself, or, you know, growing up, or whatever the case may be, because all of us who go through a sort of Ten of Swords, a very difficult stage in our life, sometimes we can resonate with low self-esteem and depression and things of that nature, right? But certainly when you're with somebody who you know is telling you that they want you to come out of it, and then when you come out of it, it's almost as if they're not happy, right? And in comes your Knight of Cups all over again, but this time he comes in the form of Knight of Wands to lift you up and to let you know that they're still behind you. This is a very nice connection here, right? But it starts off very sort of like innocent. You know, it starts off with him just wanting to give you that cup of love, but now, and you weren't really interested, like I said, because you're probably dealing with this current situation you're in, and now that you realize halfway through the month, this person comes back in, and they come back in to help you as well in a very practical way. Because the Page of Pentacles talks about, the Page of Pentacles is that person who can come in and help you. They're very practical. They're like the problem solver. I want to say they can, it's almost like raccoon energy in a way when we're talking about spirit animals. Page of Pentacles is definitely a good friend, right? Now, this could be someone else coming in to help you, or it could just be energy coming in that you're kind of drawing on to be very practical and get on with things, right? It could also be that this person, this Knight of Cups, who then comes in at the end of the month to sort of buoy you up after a little bit of this depression, they're really like your cheerleader. They believe in you. They believe in your creativity. They come in to sort of boost your confidence. And it could also be just as a result of them coming in to finally really support you in a way that this connection has not been able to. You start to be much more practical about what it is you need to do for yourself, for your life. All of this is very much Panther energy at play. Because there's a lot of havoc and chaos. There's a lot of upheaval suddenly. Things change very quickly. You come to some realizations, but when the dust settles, this Knight of Cups is still there. This person, whoever this is, this new person, it could be an old person that you know, but they're new in your life now, coming in with the support. And just as I've said earlier with the Panther, once the dust settles, this Page of Pentacles energy comes in to sort of like dust your hands off and get on with it. Now, why is wedding and retreat on here? It could just be that you meet this person at a wedding. Right? It could very well be that the coming together of a friend or family member or somebody along the line maybe is getting married. You're going to the wedding. This could be where you meet your Knight of Cups. This could be where you have your epiphany about your current relationship. But ultimately, retreat is on the board with Panther, meaning that you're going to, for some of you, certainly be retreating from a situation because of the havoc of the Panther, and you're going to realize later on why that was necessary. I'm going to call it, guys. This is your October reading. It's very specific. If it resonated with you, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. If you're going through a situation like this and you want to get a deeper reading on your specific scenario, then of course you should book a private reading, and you can follow the screen link at the top or in the description to book that 30 or 60 minute love, life, or career reading. All right, guys, I love you so much, Aquarius. Have a wonderful October, and I will see you mid-October for the mid-monthly love check-in. Bye-bye now.